Welcome to the Dan Casper Show podcast, your chance to catch the full show anytime, anywhere. If you missed it live on the radio, no worries. We've got you covered with all the sports talk, opinions, interviews, and conversations from the show. From the Packers to the Brewers to the biggest stories in sports and around Wisconsin, it's all right here. This is the Dan Casper Show podcast. All right, here we go. Hour 3, quarter number 3 kicks off right now. Happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully you're all off to a fantastic start and ready for the weekend that'll be nearly upon us. We're going to do here in just a little bit some local sports roundup brought to you by Carpet City Flooring Center. We'll do a little AJM Automotive, pump the brakes, full throttle. We've got cream of the crop coming up here in just a sec, but should we do our trivia question for Surveyor? So again, if you're just joining in, Surveyor said our trivia question, I have to name 5 of the 8 second-round picks for the Packers since 2020. The Vikings have only had 2 since 2020. So, Brandon, you got to name all 2. Good luck.
All 2. I think I can name both of them.
And I got your answers here.
Yeah, I think I know it.
All right.
Andrew Booth Jr., 2022, and it took me for a bit. 2020 was Ezra Cleveland.
Well done.
That's why it took me a second on that one. I'm like, who was it in 2020? Because, well, there's a lot of things in 2020 I just don't remember very well.
Yep. Nice,
right.
Nice.
Tackle, turn guard, and now Jacksonville Jaguar.
Yep. Nice. Good work.
And but we talked about the lack of second-round picks, but the fact is neither of them are with the Vikings anymore.
Nope.
So obviously that has been kind of a position of not strength for them here recently.
Kind of like Packers' third-round picks besides Tucker Kraft, maybe. So, all right. So I only need 5 of the 8. I'm going to try to do as many as possible here. So since 2020 was A.J. Dillon. That's 1. Last year was Anthony Belton. Lucas Musgrave. Christian Watson. Jaden Reed. So that's 5 right there. Let's go. I thought I could do a couple more here. I got the 5. Tucker was a 3rd. Ryan was a 3rd. Cooper and Bullard. That's 7.
One more.
I don't know if it was 2020 or not, or if it was before 2020. I don't think it was, but I'll say Josh Myers, the center. Can't remember if he was technically a 2nd or a 3rd, and if that fits that wheel. But that's okay. So that's 8 guesses. So we'll see. I have to wait from Surveyor to see if I got them. That's 8, right? Yeah, I did 8. While we wait, let's do cream of the crop, shall we? Cream of the crop, Brandon. Who are you rolling with?
Cream o' the crop.
Cream of wheat.
Cream of wheat. You know what? I don't know if I've ever given this guy his flowers, but I guess now would be the good time after last night. I'm just going to go Fernando Mendoza. Like, throughout this whole process, just been very impressed with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I was a Raiders fan, I would feel pretty good. Like, I don't think he's going to be an elite, top 2 or 3 quarterback. I think Jeremiah made the comparison to Matt Ryan.
Oh, okay.
Which I think makes sense. It's like a tall pocket. Like, I've been very impressed with them. And I think he's going into a good position too. Having Kirk Cousins there as that bar to set, like a good person to learn from.
Yeah.
And I think at this point, Kirk kind of understands what the role is.
Inadvertently, and I hate to say this because we do have a Raiders fan in the building here.
Yeah.
And I say inadvertently because I think they've had a decent offseason.
Yeah.
Max Crosby not getting traded.
Right.
Bringing
Tyler
him back.
Linderbaum.
Yeah.
I mean, they overpaid, but they had a ton of money, so that's one of those spots where I think you're okay overpaying. And it's a 3-year deal for his prime, so it's not like it's a forever kind of a thing. So no, they
drafted Ashton Genty last year.
Right.
So.
And I obviously he did not have a good year last year. I don't really put much of that on him.
I like their head coach hiring of Kubiak. So
I think they're doing some good things.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So no, that's a good one. I am going to go. Oh, I got them all right too.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Woo!
Not in correct order, but
doesn't matter. You got them all right.
We batted 1,000 today. Air 5. Yeah. My career of the crop. I'm gonna go Victor Wembanyama. This surprised the heck out of me. The first ever unanimous defensive player of the year.
Wow.
I know.
That's
First time that has ever happened. We've had Gary Payton win it. We've had Michael Jeffrey Jordan win it a couple times. Dikembe won it how many times? Ben Wallace won it how many times? Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
Victor Wembanyama was the first ever to win it unanimously. Now, I don't know if that means because the defense sucks in the NBA right now, and it was way better back then, so there was more options to choose from, or whatever. But it's like, I got to give him that.
Yeah.
I did my sports confession earlier this week. I know the Wembanyama hype when he first came out, but I was kind of like, is he going to reach that height? And he has so far. Yep. So I got to give him some roses. So, but yeah, that's my cream of the crop. So we've got Surveyor said remaining guys I want the Packers draft: Caden McDonald, Christian Miller, Jennings, Dunker. The Culver's thing is just
he is the most Iowa-looking Iowa lineman that there's ever been, and that's a compliment.
Yeah. I did see one mock that has him going to Denver. I'm like, of course, because who else is over there at Denver?
Yeah.
Quinn, right?
Yeah, Meinertz.
Yeah, from Whitewater.
Yes.
So it's like, oh, of course that would work for that.
They're gonna team up, and then they're gonna open a Culver's franchise in Denver.
Right. So, oh, man. Do you want to do local sports now, or do you want to do some AGM Automotive Pump the Brakes?
Your call. It's your show.
If you're ready to do some local sports,
we can do that.
Let's kick that up. So
yeah, let's start with golf.
Okay.
Because I saw a fair amount of golf this week. Tuesday at the Western Clover Belt meet at Lake Wissota, and then yesterday at the Big Rivers meet at Lake Hallie, site of the Casper Classic.
Yep.
And they played the back nine like we did last year. So
there you go. Did you give any tips on what to?
I would never. I would not give tips because they are all better than I am. So no, I would not be the type of person you would be seeking tips from. But yeah, we can start with that. Yesterday at Lake Hallie, and it was Rice Lake picked up the team win there. It was a really tight competitive matchup in the face of some really stiff winds, which those of you that have ever golfed there, the wind was coming out of the south. So I didn't really look into it too much, but I'd be curious to see how many of the players really tried to let it fly on hole 18 knowing you had the wind at your back. Mm-hmm. I mean, that wouldn't make much of a difference for me, but if you're someone like Justice that can really get into a ball, it probably would have. But yeah, Rice Lake, you look confused.
Why was I not mentioned?
I don't know. I never golf with you because you never golf.
I golfed with you last year.
Once.
And?
It wasn't there. You got to golf with me more than once a year before you're in my golf mental depth chart.
Moving on.
But yeah, Rice Lake picked up the team win. They shot at 144 with River Falls Hudson. It was really close. I mean, you had the top seven all separated by like less than 20 strokes. Mm-hmm. So I mean, a shot here, a shot there. It was River Falls' Ryan Swanson who shot I believe that'd be a 2-under. I got to double check on that, but yeah, 2-under, 33 on the back nine, which not easy to get to earn medalist honors there. But I mean, I think early on, it seems like the thing with the Big Rivers as far as boys golf is it's pretty balanced. Mm-hmm. In the past we've seen the Eau Claire Memorials, the Hudsons of the world, really kind of control it, and they still have good teams. But like I think there's just more teams capable of challenging now, which is obviously going to make it very interesting anytime you go out for something like that. So,
right.
And then on the boys' end, I mentioned as the Western Clover Belt meet Tuesday when they were at Wissota. Bloomer has been pretty dominant early on there as far as meets go. They they finished first again last night at a conference meet at Cadott at Whispering Pines. So I mean they've got a really experienced group at the top. Tegan Steele, who's going to go golf at Stout, actually, has been, going to come out of the gate soaring. Connor Gould, another senior who's, a really good, strong golfer for them. Bodie Baraboo, all-conference guy last year. I mean, when you're kind of leading with three veteran seniors at the top, you're putting yourself in a good position there. So, I mean, they're a team that not just the regular season, but also once we get to the Division II postseason, might be a threat to make a run. Cadott in Division III is going to probably be that team as well. Stanley Boyd. They've been up there, even though they've got some newer guys in the mix as well. So, I mean, talking with people kind of this week, Mother Nature's been pretty cooperative for us to start, especially for golf. Like, I mean, they've probably already had more good weather meets than they had for like going into May last year.
Yeah.
That seems to kind of be the prevailing theory among coaches is like, we've been fortunate so far, so fingers crossed that can continue there. So.
Yeah, no doubt. So
yeah, but and then shifting gears to baseball, so we had some games last night that kind of got washed out. In progress, I think Eau Claire North was, they were. Was it New Richmond they were playing? I forget who, but there was someone where they had a game that was kind of in progress that they didn't quite get going or finish up with. Sorry, it was Rice Lake, and I know Chippewa Falls had that with the same situation with River Falls. So. I mean, those are games that, they're going to obviously want to, get wrapped up. So we're still pretty early baseball-wise. Big Rivers, Chippewa Falls, and Hudson are both unbeaten very early on in the play. But they play next week, I believe, on Tuesday, Thursday. So that's kind of a big early season one. I mean, those will be a rematch of last year's sectional semifinal, which Hudson won on the way to state. So in the Western Clover Belt, you got Regis and Elk Mound kind of at the top right now. I don't think that's a big surprise. Regis brought a lot back from last year. Elk Mound was a game from state last year, and moving into the Western Clover Belt, and Elk Mound's got a tremendous history of success in baseball, so not too much of a surprise there. So, otherwise in the Dunn St. Croix, Durand, Arkansas, early on, Mondovi, those are in Boyceville. Boyceville, another one that's kind of got a nice history, won state championship a few years back. So, you're going to have. If they're not kind of getting those games in today, you're going to have a lot of non-conference action going on around. So just need to keep stacking good weather days.
Right.
And so we can get those in because baseball, baseball in the Big Rivers and in the Western Clover Belt, they go the Tuesday, Thursday schedule. So, you want to make sure you can kind of get those in because a lot of times your Fridays and even your Saturdays, that's where you're putting your non-conference games.
Okay.
So you really can't afford to have too many weather makeups.
Right.
So softball, a lot more of those teams got their games in last night. Chippewa Falls picked up a win over Rice Lake. So right now they're hot on the heels of New Richmond, who's unbeaten in the conference. And obviously those two teams have not met up yet. So Menominee in third at 4-2. Chippewa's got a couple wins over the Mustangs there. So in the Western Clover Belt, Tuesday, McDonald picking up the big win over Stanley Boyd. I mean, those are two, probably I would say maybe the two favorites in the conference. And, McDonald doing that, and then coming back last night, McDonald picking up the win over Elk Mound, and Kelsey Brednes for McDonald pitching a no-hitter.
Ooh, okay.
She is in the circle, and then also at the plate has been a really a premier leader for the MAC so far this year. So McDonald has a big game today against Grantsburg, a non-conference game, but that's a big game as far as postseason goes. And actually, that's one of the places I'll be tonight is hanging out at Casper Park. So. But that'll be an interesting one because, Grantsburg, they've been kind of the team that's been battling Fall Creek in the sectionals the last few years. And, this year Grantsburg bumps back down to Division IV, and that's a heavyweight matchup. So, that'll be kind of a good litmus test for both of those teams. So, otherwise, you got Bloomer. They're off to a really strong start as well. They can, as always, they can put the bat on the ball, but, they've been getting good pitching out of Alicia Keel and Eddie Zwiefelhofer. So, that's a team that's, going to be, I think, right in the prime of the mix there as well. And Fall Creek, a team that's younger, but at the same time, I think a team that you kind of figure with their coaching there, by the time we get to the end of the regular season, they're going to probably have themselves in a pretty confident position. So, And then Dunn St. Croix wise, you got Colfax. They're starting strong as well. That's another one of those D4 teams, along with McDonald and Grantsburg, that those are the three that are probably going to be there at the end, and they're unbeaten right now in DSC competition. Some big bats in that lineup, some good pitching. So yeah, we're about to hit May, and that's kind of when the rubber meets the road as far as some of these sports go. It's kind of crazy to think about, but we're a month or less away from postseason for some of these sports.
Right. Yeah. No doubt. All right. If you're done, I'll go to the college side.
There's plenty on the college side.
All right. So let's start off with we'll start off with the Blue Golds here because we've got baseball action coming your way this weekend. A couple doubleheaders, both on Saturday and Sunday at Carson Park. They're going to be going up against Platteville. So that'll all begin starting tomorrow. Softball-wise, for the Blue Golds, they're going to be hitting the road with a doubleheader against La Crosse tomorrow. Softball team coming off of a sweep against Stevens Point the other day. Let's go to little tennis because we're starting to wrap up that regular season. On the men's side, they're going to be going up against the Milwaukee School of Engineering. That's going to be in Eau Claire on Saturday before the Wyatt Championships next week. And then for women's tennis, they had the WIAC tournament going on this weekend or this week. They defeated Oshkosh on Tuesday. They fell to lacrosse. On Thursday. They also got Milwaukee School of Engineering coming up this weekend too. So golf-wise, we're wrapping up this season here too. The men's team's going to be at the SJU Spring Invitational in Minnesota, whereas women's golf is going to be taking on UW Lacrosse on Sunday. And then track and field. This is that time of year. They're going to be kind of split up. We got the Drake relays going on, but also the Dick and Mary Johnson Invitational, which is at Eau Claire on Upper Campus at Simpson Field. That'll be tomorrow. So stout-wise, again, full up schedule here. They're very similar with the track and field, Drake relays, and at Eau Claire for the Dick and Mary Johnson Invite. Men's golf is also at the SJU Spring Invitational. Women's golf's at Wartburg Spring Invite. Baseball is going to be at your alma mater, UW Oshkosh. And softball is also going to be at UW Oshkosh, too. Flag football for UW Stout is also in action this weekend. That is your local sports roundup, brought to you by Carpet City Flooring Center. Really quick question from Surveyor for both of us, to both of you. If Jermod McCoy drops the Vikings or Packers, how would you feel if your team takes him? Considered a top 10 overall talent when healthy. After talking to Dr. Crow this morning, no thank you.
That was the same thing I was going to say. Like, because I was someone that last night I was like, okay, yeah, for the reason he brought up, like, if he's healthy, he's a top 10 prospect.
Yeah.
But then after hearing what Dr. Crow said, I was kind of like, someone else can do that.
I don't want to go another David Bakhtiari route, and the bone plug that they're calling it, that he might need that replaced, and hearing what Dr. Crow had to say about that, I'll pass.
Well, look, this is another one of those things you get with listening to the show. Like, how many other sports shows basically got a doctor on retainer that they talk to and can tell you this stuff?
Right. Because, honestly, I would have been, Jermod McCoy's still available. We need a corner.
Yeah, once you get to that position, day two, and both our teams could use some corners. So it's like, take that swing. But
because everybody says ACL's fine. It's the cartilage thing, and I think before we even had Dr. Crow on, I'd be like, ACL's the most important thing.
Maybe not.
Pump the brakes.
Yeah,
and so nope. I don't. Not for a second round pick.
Yeah.
Not for a second. So. All right, tell you what, let's take a quick break, and let's play a little Pump the Brakes Full Throttle. That's coming up after these quick words. On at Hy-Vee right now through the weekend, it's the 3-day 99-cent sale, Brandon. You can load up on a bunch of stuff for just 99 cents a piece. We're talking about Gatorade sports drinks. You got kiddos playing baseball this weekend. That'd be a good one to make sure that they're all hydrated and such. You've got Midwest pork or Hy-Vee Midwest pork loin ribeye or tenderized chops for just 99 cents. I mean, come on now. You got to this is an ad that's loaded. I can't read everything on here because we'd be here for a few minutes and such. So do yourself a favor, go to the Hy-Vee Facebook page and you can see the flyer for the 99-cent sale. We're talking about boxes of Kraft mac and cheese. That's a hit in our house with the kiddos and such. So cucumbers, bunch of different drinks on here. So, remember, the instant lunch, like the noodle bowls and such. That's 2 for 99 cents for crying out loud. Boom. So, check it all out. Hy-Vee Eau Claire for their 99-cent sale going on right now till Sunday. So, all right, dude, are you ready for a little AJM Automotive Pump the Brakes Full Throttle?
That means I give a thumbs up. That means yes.
Yes. Pump the brakes, full throttle. So let's start it off with a little Bucks chat. So Taylor Jenkins, all reports, he's going to be the new head coach. The night before, so this was announced yesterday, Wednesday, Giannis was on Instagram with a little video. I don't know if you knew this or heard this, but he was like, video recording the Deer District and saying the Deer District should be full, and he's referring to should be playoffs. And the next day, Taylor Jenkins gets hired. Pump the brakes, full throttle. Was Giannis involved in that coach decision because maybe he was with Bucks brass that night?
I'm going to say full throttle. I mean, I I believe there had to be some sort of communication during that process. I don't think he found out when we found out.
Yeah.
And whether he's back or not, like that's still something I think you rope in your start. Now, you're not allowing them to make the decision, but I think it's important to keep him clued in on, hey, this is what we're thinking. What do you think?
Yeah.
Show you value his opinion.
Right. And with you, I don't know if that makes a difference with the hire. It is interesting that it was a very quick hire.
It was.
Because last week there was a thought that, okay, maybe Taylor Jenkins kind of takes his time if he is the top candidate. Maybe Orlando becomes available, they said.
Heck, if New York loses.
Right. Would those be other opportunities? Now, maybe money talked, which could be, a pretty big deciding factor in that haul, too. But, I mean, if you're Taylor Jenkins and you're one of the best available, I would have to imagine you asked about Giannis.
Yeah, so what's going on here? Yeah.
Right. So I don't know, if that means anything because it was a quick hire and that, but it did come to fruition a lot quicker than I thought it was going to.
I agree.
With that. So, but I agree with you. I'm full throttle. I know some people are saying that he wasn't involved or didn't have a say. I think there was some level of communication, especially, at least I hope there was maybe, because especially if Giannis is saying, there was no communication throughout the season, there had to be something with this, I would think. Right. Otherwise, if you didn't, then you might as well just say goodbye to him.
Right.
At this point. But I like the hire.
Yeah, I mean, it was the one that I think we were all kind of expecting. I think when you had the odds last week, it was the leader, and unfortunately the Budenholzer are coming back when we were having fun at those odds. But it makes sense. I mean, he's someone that's won. Like, he had success in Memphis. Obviously, there's the connection there. So like it makes sense.
Yeah. To follow it up, our friend Philly fan Dave did send a text a little bit ago because it's with the Bucks. Says, does it seem to anybody else like when good players like Dame or Turner come to the Bucks, they underperform and the Bucks end up being mid?
I mean, those are two examples of it. And Dame, obviously the injury comes into play, but even beforehand, like, and Turner, I think it was always going to be one of those things where maybe they kind of bought a bit high. But I mean, with those examples, you can't dispute it. It's true.
Yeah. It's like, and the Turner one, I don't know, was it just the lack of Giannis playing time and chemistry with that? I don't know, but I mean, you look at the numbers and you look at the stats, it's hard to argue against it.
Well, and the interesting thing is, with Taylor Jenkins, like kind of looking, kind of reading some things like what does he, basically what kind of coach is he? He's a defensive guy. And he's, especially when it comes to like rim protection.
I was just going to say, because they're talking about like offensive rebounds. He is like, I want more shots, extra shots. You have to
right. So maybe that's something where that can kind of maybe utilize, certainly Miles Turner better. I mean, again, Giannis, we don't know, but like in a position like that where he can be more of a rim protector kind of guy, but then that can also play away from the basket.
Right. Let's do a little baseball with the Brewers because it sure seems like Tyler Black's getting called up.
I was kind of just looking into that now because I wanted to double check and see what his numbers were at AAA, and like they're good. Like and go continue.
So pump the brakes, full throttle. Do you put him at third? Is that where he's been? Where does I guess that's pump the brakes, full throttle. You agree with bringing him up?
I will full throttle bring him up. He's not playing third. He hasn't played third for a bit. He's not. He's just. I mean, I think that ship has kind of sailed. He got to a certain point, and they're just kind of like, okay, you're not third baseman. You're a first baseman, and you're an outfielder. So I'm bringing him up, and I'm playing him in left field, specifically against righties. But like, I want to see him get that shot, and then maybe you're sending back like Greg Jones or something like that. But like. Yeah. He is and honestly, I had forgotten he was I forgot about him. Yeah. But then I'd seen like he was just coming about the injury. Like I had forgotten about Tyler Black. Otherwise, he probably would have been up before that. But like he's hitting well in AAA. Like call him up, give him a legitimate opportunity in left field to see if he can maybe give you a little something, because he really hasn't gotten that. In the last the few times he's been called up by the Brewers, like a legitimate like okay, we're gonna give you maybe a couple week runway here to play, most of the at-bats. Right.
Yeah. Because you look at that outfield, there's not a ton of power right now.
No.
With it. I mean, Lockridge, is it pump the brakes, full throttle? Has Lockridge been the best offensive outfielder so far for the Brewers?
I would say Garrett Mitchell.
Oh, yeah, Garrett Mitchell. I kind of forget about him, too. So
right. But besides him, like, There's not, obviously there hasn't been a lot of power there, but there's average, there's on base percentage.
Yep.
Obviously
RBIs.
You can steal. So I would say full throttle besides Mitchell he has. So I think there's a way you can work that.
Yeah.
But I mean, Tyler, I would say, Tyler Black up and just give him a shot. And then he's also someone that can play a little first base too if you need to. So there's that versatility in there as well.
Right. Pump the brakes, full throttle. They've got to overhaul their left side of the infield right now. Is it time for Cooper Pratt and Jet Williams?
I'm going to pump the brakes on that for now. With those guys, I don't want to bring people up before they're ready. And I get it. They're not getting really anything out of, shortstop or third base offensively.
Yeah.
But I kind of subscribe to what Hunter told you a little bit earlier this week. I think I want to get into May before that happens. It's frustrating as it is. I just need a little more time.
Right. What is going on here?
Your phone is going crazy. I thought it was the Titanic theme there for a second.
Right. Yeah. So, what else do we got here? We've got pump the brakes, full throttle. Should we be concerned right now with where the standings are for the NL Central, because it is tight?
I'm going to pump the brakes on that. I'm actually going to look this up to kind of double check just to make sure I kind of know what they are. I know the Brewers are in last, right? But they're 13-11. So let's put it that way, 13-11. So they at 13-11 right now. They're on a pace to win 88 games.
Okay.
to put it that way. And they're 2.5, and they're 2.5 back of a Cubs team that has won 9 in a row, and a Reds team that's gotten off to a hot start. I'm not super concerned, and they still got they've got the second best run differential in the division. I get it's frustrating, and you look at a game like last night, and you're like, man, they really should have had they should have got that, but I'm not too concerned.
Yeah, it's definitely too early, but I do think it's playing out tougher than initially maybe. I think we knew it was going to be a better division overall, but the Cardinals have been a big surprise, I think, so far, right? With everything how they've started and such. The Cubs have figured something out. Is that more about the Cubs, or is it more about the Mets and the Phillies, or just the Cubs playing them at the right time? It's probably a little bit of both.
I think it's probably a little bit of a bunch of different things
at that point. So, but we got 140 some of these games, 130 some of these games left to go here. So let's pump the brakes here. I know we want to have quick reactions to that in baseball, and I'm guilty of that too. But what are you looking up? You have this.
I'm just looking.
Oh, okay. I thought you had something.
I don't have anything important to say. I never do.
All right. Pump the brakes, full throttle. We'll see 2 quarterbacks drafted in the second round.
I'm going to pump the brakes. I know that there's been some hype, is Carson Beck moving up? And then, what's his name? Garrett Nussmeier. I don't think so.
I don't think the Cardinals draft one in the.
No, like I said before, I think they just don't pick one.
Yeah.
Unless it's a day 3 guy, but no one that you're going to put a bunch of stock into.
Yeah, I would agree. I just don't see there's a team where they desperately need a starter that they would push and grab one of those guys.
Right. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see in the first half of the first round, because then that's just a pick that
first half, second round.
First half of the second round, because that's just a pick that my team's not going to make, and that might just push somebody down a little bit further.
Yeah.
So
nope, I would agree with that,
but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah. No, I am curious to see what's the position run going to be in the second half.
Right.
Is it corner? Is it offensive line? Is it edge? There was a ridiculous run last night on offensive linemen for as slow as it started for offensive line, and then all of a sudden it was like, everybody's got to get one now.
Yep.
So, and there's still a few that are. So I'm curious if it's going to be offensive line where people kind of jump up and get some of those big guys up there, because there's some good pass rushers that were taken off the board too. So, pump the brakes, full throttle. Did the Jets have the best night?
I'll go full throttle on that. Look, part of it is they had 3 first-round picks.
Yeah,
that helps. But it seemed like the 3 first-round picks made sense.
It did. I think they set up whoever that quarterback's going to be next year.
Well, and they're giving Geno Smith a shot.
Yep. Breece Hall's going to be there. Garrett Wilson's going to be there. You got a rookie quarterback or a rookie wide receiver with Cooper. You got the tight end coming
Sadiq,
in.
Yeah.
Yep.
So no, I could agree with that.
And then maybe they'll get an interception now that they got a edge rusher coming in. So maybe, just maybe.
Maybe they'll get one.
Maybe. So, all right. That's your AGM Automotive Pump the Brakes Full Throttle. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back after these quick words. Pump the Brakes or Full Throttle, Brandon. Just out of curiosity, we say we don't like to grade drafts and such. Do you still look at them when people kind of come out with them?
But it's just you do, but I don't I don't put much stock in it. Like it's just like, oh, okay. Like, if I look and see Mikey's pick, it seems like it's like a C-ish. Like I said, if I was a grade, I would have said like a C-. But like, but I've been like, oh, okay. You're just gonna move on. Like my day is not going to be altered because a grade was very high or very low. So
yeah, because I was just kind of curious to see what Mel Kiper Jr. Picked. He said biggest winners and best picks. Number one was Mendoza. Jeremiah Love. He mentioned the Cleveland Browns, the Dallas Cowboys, the Baltimore Ravens, Philadelphia. He said the Jets. He liked the. I had Jordan Tyson above Carnell Tate on the wide receiver room, but they were back to back at number 7, 8. So I had no problem with Tennessee taking Tate at 4. Commanders he mentioned on here too. So. Dolphins, Chris Johnson match is fun. The Miami cornerback room was barren, and Johnson is a ball hawk. So I kind of look at stuff like that just to see what these draft experts.
Right. Well, I kind of laughed because it's like, oh, biggest winners on there is Eagles, Ravens. I'm like, they're always on there.
Yesterday, I was literally said, I don't want the next day to be coming in and saying, how did the Eagles get that guy? Because I feel like we say that almost every year. Eagles or Ravens. Like Ravens is a secondary. Like, how did they get another defensive back or something like that? But, yeah, at least it wasn't a Georgia player, I guess, for the Eagles. Yeah. Georgia defensive player and such. But
still could be, though.
Everybody's got their own grades in that.
Sure.
I look at a few different ones just to kind of see what the experts have to say out there and such. So, but still miss Mike Mayock.
I do, too, especially for tomorrow.
Yeah, got to fill in that time with Mayock, but what is he doing? I know he just did a podcast or the other day
he works for does he work for the Ringer?
Does he really?
He's doing something somewhere.
Okay, I did not know that. I know he did. Maybe that's where the podcast was. I saw the headline where he kind of admitted he screwed up the 19 draft with Farrell going number 4 and such. But
yeah, I always like Mayock.
I do too, but. Daniel Jeremiah is solid too. I like Daniel Jeremiah.
Yep.
It's kind of like when we do the chats with Dr. Crow. I can throw something and we don't go through the questions ahead of time. It's unscripted on the fly and he can rattle off that stuff. Watching these draft people get to like picks 200 or something and they can still talk about this player. That fascinates me.
Yeah.
I think it's so cool. So, and kind of jealousy, too. And I'll be honest, I can't pronounce 75% of the names, and these guys, they nail it. They know everything about them. I love when they go, like NFL Network does, test the truck? If they have a highlight film of that.
Yeah.
That's.
Gonna have to keep an eye on tomorrow, because I might have to, when that pops up, I might have to see it, go the Jack Strand route.
Ooh.
See if they can test the truck on Jack Strand.
Yeah, because I've got baseball tomorrow, so I won't be able to.
I'll have to keep an eye out.
Let me know if they do. That would be a good one. Because then, they should, because Pelissero tweeted a video. So
the video, because I do know that the coaching staff has really been wanting to make sure that video gets out there. Obviously, they would, but they obviously they want to make sure that there is some video out there of it,
right,
of him and the all 22 and all that good stuff. So
right, yeah, but so day 2 tonight we've got finally a Packers pick here coming up here. Who are the players, if you are a Packers fan or maybe you're an Eagles fan or whoever? Now that we are into day 2, rounds 2 and 3, what are the positions that you want to see your team address? Green Bay, it's probably the same that we've been saying for how many weeks now. But for you, maybe you mentioned already defensive backs, whether it's a safety or corner for Minnesota. Offensive line, right? Can never have too many offensive linemen on there. Now, you did mention to me last night, if he was there, a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Lemon. And I made a dad joke with it that you didn't appreciate. But nonetheless, does that mean you still would be good with a receiver coming up here, or was that just because it was a value at that point in time?
A little both. I mean, I'm a believer that, a little bit like edge rushers, you can never have enough receivers, just because you never know. And I mean, we know Kevin O'Connell loves to throw the ball, so it would, it was similar to my thoughts with Sadiq, but that one, like a year from now, I mean, Hawkinson could be gone. Like that one, I thought made a little more sense as far as stylistically, but it was more of a best player. You can make a potential impact with that.
Yeah, the whole Lemon story too is kind of crazy.
It is.
He was on the phone with the Steelers, thinking that he was getting drafted by the Steelers, and then the Eagles moved up and literally stole him and drafted him. So that's kind of a crazy story, but it's a cool story too that we see.
It is. I mean, that's just one of those draft things.
That would have honestly, the Steelers drafted him too would have been a little interesting because they just traded for Michael Pittman.
Yeah.
They got DK Metcalf. So, I mean, okay, you're getting another receiver. You got Mike McCarthy, offensive-minded coach coming in, and assuming Aaron Rodgers is going to be your quarterback, so you're probably trying to get him more weapons than that. But, well, they invested offensive line then after that.
Which I'm sure, assuming Rodgers is back, he's not going to dislike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, just make a decision. I was waiting at one point, was he going to come out on when the intro, when they said quarterbacks? I'm like, oh, no. But
is he going to come out? I'm back. Which it may not have, here's the thing. It probably wouldn't have gotten like the greatest response. Like it wouldn't have been like a 10-minute standing ovation.
It wouldn't have been, like the Jordan, I'm back facts and stuff. But all right, we got to take our final break, and then we'll wrap up this hour. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Hey, sometimes accidents happen, but getting your vehicle back to normal does not have to be stressful. And at Superior Auto Body, they specialize in getting your vehicle looking right again after dents, dings, or collisions. And the best part is that they handle the insurance process for you, working directly with your provider to make things simple and hassle-free. No runaround, no confusion, just quality work and a team that's got your back every single step of the way. Get your vehicle back on the road with confidence. Superior Auto Body in Eau Claire, where the job gets done right. So just a few minutes left until the top, and then we're into the final quarter of the program here. So Brewers yesterday, they tried the way it started. It looked like it might have been a long day for the Brewers, but maybe a quick game with Skubal getting through 9 hitters and 26 pitches, but they hung around and ended up taking the lead from the Tigers a little bit later on, thanks to Blake Perkins, so with his double and that, but not able to hold on. Uribe giving up the walk-off home run in the ninth. The Tigers tied it up in the bottom of the eighth, so now they've got Paul Skeens coming up. Brandon Woodruff on the mound, but going to the other Brandon Sproat. So would you consider that a solid start after coming off of his best starts the prior game?
I think so. I mean, he left the game with the team having a chance against Tarek Skubal. So, yeah, I think that was a solid follow-up for him. And, yeah, just got to keep stacking good starts.
Terang's on base ended yesterday, but still it was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
there too.
Good run.
So it was a good run, but eventually it was going to happen.
Whoa. Stop being a negative Nancy. Eventually he wasn't going to get on base in the game?
Eventually. Odds are I don't think he was going to go 162 straight.
Not with that attitude.
Not with that attitude, he's not. So, but returning home to the friendly confines of American Family Field, and yes, it is Paul Skeens, but the Brewers have experience going up against him. Is the biggest key to going up against Skeens is get that pitch count out and get him out of the game early and get to that bullpen?
I think so, yeah. I mean, you just got to, that first time through the lineup, you just want to put together really good at-bats. I mean, I understand the rationale of wanting to be aggressive against a guy like that, because if you get a pitch, you might not get another one. That's kind of what we saw yesterday with William Contreras on the swing on the 3-0. And that's kind of what Pat Murphy said after the game is, hey, we want him to be aggressive in that spot because when you're going up against a really good pitcher, you might only get one. But at the same time, yeah, would really like that first time through to see them just being, patient, following off pitches. I mean, they got a lot of pesky hitters in the lineup, and this is a chance where you kind of want to see that.
Right. So, so we got Miz Kid tomorrow. Does that mean Harrison on Sunday?
I believe that is the plan.
All right. I know Quinn Priester had a rehab start and such, but it didn't go the greatest
No, it did
in
not.
Nashville. But, I mean, let's go back. I know it's a week ago, but how impressed were you with Coleman Crowe?
Very.
Yeah.
Very. For a guy that doesn't throw particularly hard, I think you just see the importance of changing speeds. I mean, with that curveball, it's,
how much torque do you think that elbow?
I don't know. But that thing moves.
Mm-hmm.
And then, that makes a 92, 93 mile an hour fastball look faster.
What do you think of the comp that Pat Murphy gave him with Tim Hudson?
Lofty praise. I mean, he's a short guy, and you can kind of see it with some of the stuff. I think Hudson might have thrown a little harder, if I remember correctly. It's been a bit, but it's a guy that's just it's another one in the chamber, so to speak, as far as starters go.
Well, that's like I was kind of talking about that earlier in the week. Kind of forgot about him, or didn't really talk a whole lot about him because you got all these younger guys. But for crying out loud, you throw him in there, Logan Henderson, Robert Gasser, Chad Patrick, Jacob Mizorowski, Brandon Sproat, Kyle Harris. Logan Henderson's pitching well, I would imagine.
Yeah, Logan Henderson just always seems to be the odd man out. Like he's usually done nothing but pitch well whenever he gets a chance. It's a numbers game right now.
And wasn't it like last year he was 3-0 in 5 games, but he kind of needed to develop another pitch and such. And I know this year he was talked about as a potential rookie of the year watch list. But is it just straight up numbers game, and that's why he can't consistently stay up there?
Yeah. I don't think it's anything he's done. It's just, you look at the rest of the way, it's like, well, who do you take out? I mean, obviously after the first few starts, maybe people thought it might have been Sproat, but he's pitched a lot better. So it's just, you've got 5 starters.
Yeah. But when Priester could Priester go into bullpen if he does come back, if it's still a numbers game?
I mean, he could, but
And what's with Chad Patrick not getting a start and just going with the opener?
I think that might have been more of a opponent thing. I know at the top of the lineup with the Tigers, with the lefties and stuff like that, but I don't know. At some point, I'm just kind of, trying to steal maybe stealing at bat lefty. But at some point, I'm just kind of like, just gonna let him do it.
Yeah.
Like, just let him start.
All right, shot clock's gonna cut off, so I don't get yelled at again today by our mutual friend Nick, because he wanted a shout out yesterday because we were at the draft last year. And I said, well, technically the first round of last year was the 24th, which is today. So, yes, we were at the draft.
We were.
What's up, Nick? Hi. So, all right, 3 in. We've got one more to